Yo, what's good? It's your boy back at it again. And I want to talk about how, Watch the Throne dropped. And I was sitting there listening to it. And at first I didn't like the album. I was like, it's whatever. I heard better from Jay, I heard better from Ye and whatnot. But then when you really sit there and you break down the whole album, you realize how great the album is. I mean, will it be a classic? Only time will tell. I mean, you can't just call it a classic day one. I don't think anybody's ever had an album like that. But one song in that album that stuck out to me was a song that you rarely hear artists do nowadays, the Murder to Excellence song. I mean, the way Jay embodies the first verse is just like, it just brings you in. Like, this is the memory of Dan Roy Henry. Like, you don't hear rappers talking about things that happen in the black community. Like last time I can remember somebody talking about somebody in the black community was Diallo, and that was Wyclef, and that was back in the 90s. Who's doing that nowadays? Sean Bell, Oscar Grant, Who's talking about these people? You got cops killing cops. Christopher Ridley, God bless his soul, I knew him. Getting shot up in White Plains. It was about 3 or 4 years ago. Just because he's black. No one talks about these things anymore. Why is that? We get so caught up in the chains and the whips and the money and the girls, and nobody ever sits there and says, who's making music for the black community that actually means something? Who's actually going to bring up the issues that are really important? So what, we got a black president. What does that mean? We're just going to sit here on our ass and not do nothing about it? That's the same reason why we are in the predicament we are today. Because black people just want to sit here and just be like, alright, it's cool. I can live like this, instead of trying to want to be better. Every time somebody with money that's black makes more money or does something, why does everybody have to call him a sellout? Shout out to Will, shout out to O. We're gonna need 1 million mo, It's crazy. Like, if that was the case, I can see why people won't want to give back to a community that would turn their back on them. You live long enough to become the person that everyone else despises, even though you try to be the hero. To paraphrase that, If you know what movie it is, you've heard it before. You've heard Jay say it before. It's a quote. I don't remember what movie it's from. But, I mean, I'm just saying, like, nobody talks about this stuff. No one talks about the black excellence, No one talks about the Marcus Garveys anymore. No one talks about that kind of stuff. Or civil rights leaders like Malcolm X or Martin Luther King. Nobody talks about that anymore. Why is that? How come we don't have any more positive role models in our community? And another thing that really gets me tight is these rappers that we glorify and we talk about and whatnot and buy their albums. Some of us bootleg it, some of us go on iTunes. How come they don't give back to the community with all the money that they make? $300, $400 million, well, 90 more, but still, at least worth that much. Where the scholarships at? What's a nice little 40,000 scholarship to go to Rutgers? AJ? Kanye? Build some stuff in Chicago, right? Diddy build some schools in Harlem, open up a center to keep kids off the street, or Mount Vernon, or wherever you're from, Diddy. I don't know. But you selling Ciroc. I'm sure those Ciroc profits is doing well. Where the money at, son? Like, yeah, you can give to all these charities, but what you gonna do for your hood? The same hood that made you. That's what makes me mad about these rappers. Like, I will continue to bootleg your stuff. I will continue to download your stuff, illegally or legally, until you want to give back money to the community. You got all this money. You talk about all this stuff you can buy, G4s and riding in the newest whips, Maybachs and shit. What you doing for the community? We as black people really need to do better. We got a black president, cool. But what you gonna do? Just sit there? Be happy? Still getting shot? Still broke? Unemployment's in 15% for black people alone, even though the national average is around 8, 9, 10%. There's a reason for that. It's because you're lazy. Get off your ass and do something with your life. Work 2 jobs if you have to. Things come so easy, but yet people make them so hard. And that's really sad. I'm actually really sad. This generation is making me sad day by day. We went from 16 and pregnant I mean, we went from Sweet 16 to 16 and Pregnant and Teen Mom. The only shows on TV that represent, as if you want to say, minority women now are basketball wives with a bunch of washed up women and washed up players who ain't never been nothing and has-beens. You got bad girls clubs that teaches girls that, oh, they could be bad, but here they are boo-hooing and crying over the next man trying to get fame. All of them got sex tapes, titties all out. Who are you really? Who are you really like? Who can you look up to? Single ladies. I ask you, who can you look for inspiration? What are Maya Angelou's? The Oprahs. Where are they at? The Toni Morrisons. Huh, ladies? Where are they? If you're so smart, if you guys are so strong intellectually, if you're a strong black woman, how come you don't have more TV shows out there that represent you? Girlfriends, Moesha. Just think about that for a second. Think about all the stuff that's on TV. And tell me, does that represent you? And if it does, then might as well give up now. It's that simple. Do better.